What's up, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking out my video. I really appreciate it. It's a beautiful day out here, and it's a little bit past noon. I'm out here. I'm absorbing energy. It was real sunny, but I'm getting a break. It's a little bit cloudy, but still feels good. So, what am I going to talk about in this video? In this video, I'm going to talk about what I usually talk about: nature, energy, absorbing energy from nature, things of this nature. But the topic is going to be a little bit different from my usual, because the topic is going to be nature, but it's going to be something that we don't really consider nature, because I'm talking about us. We are nature, and we tend to forget that we are nature because we're so separated from everything else, human beings. And what am I going to talk about concerning human beings, people? I'm going to talk about how we absorb energy from each other. Like literally, like we have the ability to pull energy from someone else and put it inside of ourselves and feed ourselves. So we have the ability to be parasites to each other or cannibalize each other. We can literally do this. And I'm going to explain how we do this and a little bit of why we do this. Okay, so what's my motivation behind making this video? I'm going to share a story with you, like what motivated me to go through this video. It's slightly entertaining, but it's a little bit negative, but I have to mention that in order to get the point across in the video, because we're talking about energy, and some energies are good, some energies are not so good. But anyways, yesterday I was taking a walk and I went into this shop, and there's a group of people in the shop, and most of them were really nice and personable to me, and I appreciate that. But there was one person who he wasn't as great as the other people. Actually, kind of negative. And he didn't do much, say much, but I felt like strong negative energy coming off of him in his words and in his delivery of his words. And I wasn't at the store long. I was there for a couple of minutes. I didn't want to stay any longer anyway. But I left, and I felt really empty inside, really hollow. And I didn't know why. It didn't make sense. I'm like, why did this get under my skin the way that it did? It doesn't make sense. And if you know anything about astrological theory, I am a Pisces sun. And according to astrological theory, Pisces sun people, they feel, they intuit, they absorb the feelings from people in their environment really, really strongly, more strongly than all of the other signs. So maybe that was the reason. But anyways, I kept walking, and I'm an overthinker sometimes. I kept thinking about the situation. And again, based on astrological theory, I am a Capricorn moon. And according to it, Capricorn moon people, they have the ability or tendency to really look deep into their minds and their hearts to find meaning in situations, oftentimes to prevent themselves from feeling like a victim. And this is what I did. I automatically started doing this. I automatically started looking deep within myself to find a way to take this energy that I felt that had the potential to ruin my day and make it into something, or create it into something special, something life-giving, something that can uplift other people so that they can uplift other people. And again, Pisces, based on astrological theory, Pisces, they are creators. They have the ability to create. They're artists, they're singers, they're dancers. I myself, I have a tendency to be an artist. I'm pretty artistic. But one of the first thoughts that came into my head after I kept thinking deeply into this, and like, how can I take it, spin it, and gain something from it, enrich myself from a situation that is usually not enriching. And one of the first thoughts that came to my mind was something that I had just read about and learned about the day prior, which was about how plants have the ability to absorb the energy, the feelings from their neighboring plants. And when I say this, I mean they can, like, based on the research and the study. I'll drop the link below, check it out in the description box. But according to this, plants literally, they secrete an enzyme on the neighboring plant, and this enzyme dissolves the cellulose, and then it gives them the ability to absorb the sugar from their neighbor. So they can basically cannibalize their neighbor. They can steal energy from their neighbor. Plants have this ability. We think plants are just simple, but they're complex creatures within themselves. Everything's complex. Everything's beautiful. And I began to think, does this apply to people? Of course it does. Of course it applies to people. I think this is a no-brainer. Everybody intuitively knows this. But when people think about it that way, like people taking energy from people, they think of it as just mental. But I think of it as physical, way past mental. And I think people, just like the plant, can literally reach inside of you and they can reach inside energy from you. How do they do this? How can I back this up? Well, think about this. When you experience an unpleasant person and their actions are unpleasant, that person is usually in need of energy. They don't feel that great themselves, so they're looking for a way to get some quick energy. So what do? They say something. They do something to absorb your energy. And when you receive the action of them reaching and pulling your energy, you release a hormone called cortisol. And what is cortisol? Cortisol is stress hormone. And what does stress hormone do? It helps you handle stress. And when you use cortisol, you lose lots of energy. And that person that triggered this is absorbing that energy that you're losing. And how do I know that you're losing energy? Because think about it, like when something depressing happens, you usually reach for like a vice. For example, coffee, cigarettes, drugs, things that give you quick energy. They're usually not the best things for you, but they give you quick energy. And of course, they're not sustainable. They won't build you. They'll just support you for the moment. And if you consistently utilize these things, they tear you down eventually. Also, sugar. Sugar is a quick fix. I myself, if I get depressed, I might reach for some ice cream. I guess maybe ice cream is my vice. But the purpose of these things is to replace that energy that was taken from you. They literally stole the energy from you and they pulled it into themselves. But just like the vices that we use to replace the energy that was taken from us, that energy that they got from us is short-lived. And just like those vices that we use, again, that way of getting energy is unsustainable. They can't continue to do that. It'll just continue to weaken them. It'll damage their relationships. It'll damage their ability to feed from other people in the future. And it's addictive and destructive. So that's one way or one explanation of how energy is literally pulled from us by other people. It's taken from us. Like they're actually taking the food from our body, the food, the sunlight, the chi, they're taking it from us. And I think most people don't naturally intend to do this. For some reason, their energy is low and maybe they need to be more efficient in their use of energy. I don't know. So I just talked about losing energy, but what about the other side, gaining energy? Do we gain energy from other people? Yes, we do. We gain energy from other people. And I guess the example that I'll use to clarify my point or discuss further my thinking in this is think about oxytocin. What is oxytocin? Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. Oxytocin is like when a woman breastfeeds her child, she releases, the baby releases oxytocin. It bonds them together. The feeling of being needed, the feeling of love, and it gives them energy. They energize each other. The same thing with you and your loved one, your partner, your friend, being around them. You feel really good. You absorb that energy. That energy creates the chemical signal oxytocin. You experience that energy through oxytocin, which is the chemical intermediary, and it makes you feel good. It literally feeds you. It's literally like food. And when I say it's like food, I mean it's really like food. Like think about a time when you were in love, especially in the very beginning. I don't know about you, but when I fall in love, especially at the very beginning, I lose my appetite. Why do I lose my appetite? Because I'm being fed. I'm being fed by that energy from the person that I'm in love with. And also, I don't know about you, but when I'm in love, I can go long periods of time without eating. I can make love all day, and I don't need food. That replaces food for me, and it's really incredible, and it can become really, really addictive, which it can be really, really horrible when it's taken from you. Love is powerful. So, but the point of my video, the whole point of the video is to just kind of point out and kind of explain that we derive energy from each other. We also we feed from each other, and we give to each other. I guess you can call it sharing, but sometimes people take too much, and you know, if we allow people to take too much, then we can't. It threatens our own survival. So, you know, it's all, at the end of the day, it's all about balance. And like when I make these videos, I want to give you something I want you to go away thinking about something, or walk away with something useful. So I guess what I'll say or talk about or give you is, next time you're with your loved one, your friend, your boyfriend, girlfriend, or if you're at work, you're around your coworkers, pay attention to your energetic needs and your hunger and things like this. And you know, it's a sign. It can tell you of things that are draining you of energy and taking too much energy from you. Sometimes it may be a little bit draining, nothing major, you can handle it. But sometimes something's draining you and you don't even know it's draining you. It's just really depleting your life and taking away from other aspects of your life that you enjoy doing. But now you can't put the energy into it because it's being taken away by something else. But think about, keep this in mind. Next time you're around someone and you notice that you're smoking cigarettes more, or drinking coffee more, or you're eating more sugar and all this stuff, and you really need your vices more, it's a sign that you're around someone that's stealing energy from you. And sometimes that person doesn't have to say anything or do anything. They're just absorbing. They're pulling the energy out of you. Just because you don't see it doesn't or comprehend it doesn't mean that it's not happening. You just have to pay attention to the subtle signs. So, you know, we don't use our intuition as much as we should. We depend on culture and things like this, and traditional wisdom and things like this, because it makes us not have to think. But what's more accurate is our intuition, but we don't trust it, and we've divorced ourselves from it, and you know, we don't know how to use it anymore. But just, you know, something to think about. You know, pay attention to that. And I'd like to say, if it's draining you, run away from it. But no, that's not the answer to everything. But at the very least, you know, be aware of it, so that you can just get the most out of everything, and really focus on what matters. Okay, so the reason why I made this video was because of a really negative feeling that I had, and I didn't want that negative feeling to own me. So I decided to own it, and I decided to create something special that would give energy back to other people that need it. So maybe that person felt like that they just inflicted pain on me, but really I reversed it, and I made it where he inflicted love. And I urge you to do the same. So I'll end the video here, and before I go, I just would like to say, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And I would also like for you to share your experiences related to this topic, and tell me what you think about our feelings, our energies, and like just how you see it. I love to understand, to see, to read other interpretations. So I'm gone. I love you. Love yourself. I'll see you next time. Let's stay connected. Bye.